This is immigration attorney Parviz Malakouti, and if you're an immigrant and you have an upcoming USCIS interview, whether it be for a green card, naturalization, removal of conditions, if you're represented by an attorney, you're eventually going to find yourself in a room with a USCIS adjudicator and your attorney, okay? And you're going to be asked questions by the adjudicator, okay? A lot of people get nervous when their interviews come up and during their interviews, and they rely on the presence of the attorney to comfort them, to guide them, to make them feel assured, to make them feel that there's somebody there looking out for them, okay? Where that attorney sits in the room, literally where they sit is a subject that is addressed in the USCIS policy manual that USCIS has to follow, that the adjudicators have to follow. And it sometimes becomes an important issue, believe it or not, okay? And a lot of people don't realize this until they're in this situation, but sometimes the difference between having your attorney sitting right next to you, shoulder to shoulder by your side, versus having the attorney sit behind you can make all the difference in the world in how you feel and your confidence when answering the questions. Okay, so why am I bringing up this topic? Why am I making this video? I'm making this video because I want to make sure that everybody who's doing a USCIS interview understands, first and foremost, that you are entitled to have your attorney sit next to you, shoulder to shoulder in the room. Not behind you, not across from you, not outside of the room. Okay, this is memorialized in the USCIS policy manual. The adjudicator has to follow it, okay? And believe it or not, if you've been to as many interviews as I've been, sometimes this is actually a point of contention with the USCIS adjudicator. Some USCIS adjudicators are excellent, they're professional, they know how it works, but some like to go on a power trip, and some like to assert dominance from the beginning and order the attorney, sit over there, don't sit next to the person. I had one adjudicator yell at me because I tried to sit next to the client, and we had to go back and forth, and I had to put him in his place and show him a copy of the policy. I'm going to link to it below. I always bring the policy. I shove it in their face if they are acting unreasonable, okay? So that's something that you should know. Now, for a lot of people, it doesn't matter. They don't care. They feel confident. The attorney can sit behind them. They can sit across. That's fine. Good for you. And if that's the case, it might not be worth it to bring it up or to have any type of friction with the adjudicator about it. But there's a lot of people out there that are nervous and they want that support. They want that professional attorney sitting next to them side by side. If you fall into that second category, don't allow yourself to be bullied by USCIS, okay? If you have an attorney, bring this to their attention. Send them the link below. A lot of attorneys are not even aware, even immigration attorneys are not aware that the USCIS policy manual states that the attorney shall sit next to the applicant, okay, the subject of the interview. That's it for this video. I hope it helps. If you need representation for your interview or for your application process, feel free to contact me for a consultation. I have a link below. If you have an interview coming up and you're doing it by yourself or with another attorney, I wish you the best of luck.